Good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Free Exchange of Ideas. Actually, not morning, I apologize, but it is a little afternoon. Oh, a little after 1. Oh, look at that. Happy New Year, folks, except for everybody that lives in California that wants to carry a gun. SB2 has been Governor Newsom's pet project for about a year now. And it was supposed to, actually, about 2 years now, because they tried to pass it once before and they couldn't get the votes. And then this time, and that was because they wanted to rush it, which would have caused them to have to get 60 votes in the House, I think, rather than just the standard 51 or 52, whatever they have to do for, majority. So this time they didn't have to do the 60 because it wasn't a rush and it got passed. Well, we were already in, Reno May was already in litigation over SB2, and their case won, actually. But that was at the federal level, at the district level. He won his case. The judge put a stay on everything. SB2 was about where you could carry and about sensitive areas. And almost literally everything in that bill is a sensitive area or attached to a sensitive area, like a sidewalk in front of a school. That's a sensitive area. A sidewalk in front of a mall. Oh, that's a sensitive area because a bunch of people go there. So Reno May won his case, at least at the district level. 2 or 3 days later, which is I think it was 3 days because they gave him a window and it was over the weekend, blah, blah, blah. The district court gave the defendant, which was et al., Rob Bonta and our illustrious governor. Robert Bonta, I don't care what anybody thinks, the guy's a thief and an idiot and a whiny liberal, and it irks me no end because this is California and we weren't built on whiny liberals. Nonetheless, sorry, tangent, forgive me. So anyway, Rob Bonta and et al., everybody, decided to, let's run this back across the Ninth Circuit. We will. What is the word I'm looking for? I apologize, folks. It's not normally a word I would miss, but they filed a brief, and the Ninth Circuit took it up and said, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna put a stay on the stay, so the law passes." And it was supposed to go into effect January 1st. So it was held up until January 1st. In other words, the original stay against SB2 went into effect on the 29th of December. 29th of December. That's a Friday. The courts never work on the weekends until today. So they worked on the weekend. They got it. The Ninth Circuit said, without any kind of opinion, just said, we are going to create a new stay and stay the stay. So this allows this case to go, or this bill to go through and be afforded into law, because the 1st is when it was supposed to go into effect, midnight of the 1st. So now, if anybody does have a carry license, and let me tell you something, in Santa Clara County alone, it costs about $1,000 to get that license to protect yourself and your family and those around you. That's what we say. That's what we mean. When we go to get a license, that's what it's for. And honestly, we shouldn't have to get a license for that. It's a right to carry. It doesn't say open or concealed, it just says to carry. Right to keep and bear arms. At any rate, so, of course, Governor Newsom and Rob Bonta, who is our state district attorney, I don't know what you call him, he's an ass. And so they filed their brief, and the Ninth Circuit took it up and said, oh yeah, this is great. We're going to give it to this other smaller court that's part of the federal court system, and they're going to look at it and see if they could have won on the merits of their lawsuit. So, if this panel of judges says no, they should not have won on the merits of their case, That'll kick it back down to the district court. I don't know if we could hop, skip, and a jump over the Ninth Circuit to go to the Supreme Court under these conditions. Because that's why they sent it to the specific group of magistrates, as it were. They are all justices on the Ninth Circuit that are in this. I think this is a 5-judge panel as opposed to the 3-judge panel that's usually gone to. Nonetheless, so these gentlemen can make the decision, because I don't think there are any women on the Ninth Circuit, but I do not know that for a fact, so please don't quote me and have me flogged. Nonetheless, these 5 individuals get to decide whether or not we have the right to carry concealed any place in the state of California. Because currently it is courthouses, libraries, parks, and private property, which means businesses, residential, anything where it says they, the private property owners, have to specifically say weapons are okay on this property. Which, if you're trying to go to, let's say, a doctor's office in a building, in a commercial building, everybody in that building would have to give you a written notice saying, yeah, it's okay for you to bring your gun into this building. And the building owner would have to do the same thing. That's never going to happen. I don't care where you go, at least not in the state of California, except maybe Redlands. Redlands might go, yeah, sure, we don't care, that's mine. But that's never going to happen in LA. It's not going to happen in San Francisco. Not going to happen in Long Beach. Not going to happen in San Diego. Not going to happen in Malibu. Might happen in Inyo, Kern County area. They don't care if you carry a weapon. Actually, they'd prefer it there, I think. But honestly, Redlands, maybe. Inyo, Kern. Yeah, that's probably about it. That would be my guess. At least where these people would put this notice out in their window, period. Just, yeah, anybody that wants to come in wearing a gun, wear a gun. Bring it in, we don't mind. I am not disappointed. Worse, I'm not surprised that the state of California went to this level, and the Ninth Circuit jumped in and said, hey, we can even kick it down the field a little further if we feel like it. So there it is. Happy New Year's to gun carriers in California. We still can't open carry at any. I can if I'm going to work or I'm going to the range or I'm going home. Those are the 3 places where I could carry between openly because my license has a stipulation on it that I have to be going to work, going to the range, or going home from the work or the range. And I'm not positive if this is a stipulation. It probably is. I'd have to look it up for certain. But I think if I'm going to go to work with my weapon on me, my work has to require my weapon. In other words, like when I worked at the Walgreens in Oakland, I carried my weapon to work. I wore it on me all the way to work. I didn't wear it I didn't leave it in the trunk. And I carried it all the way home because it was after midnight and I was just going straight home. But I had to get through Oakland to get to the freeway. So yeah, I wore it home. I have worn it to the range. However, my range, the range that I like to go to, does not allow you to wear a holster. So there's no point in holstering it that way. However, by the time I get to the range, I've finally gotten out of town and I'm between cities now in the country, and everybody there is carrying a gun or has a gun at any rate. Hold on just 1 second. My battery's dying. I don't want it to die during this. There we go. So, okay, I want to thank Rob Bonta and Governor Newsom for giving me more fodder for my fire. It only it only makes me angrier and more determined to sue you both and whoever. Oh yeah, and the because this is what happened. This is funny. The governor. I got a couple of things. The governor and Rob Bonta got together and said, hey, this is what we want to do for gun rights in California. We want to take them away from anybody that wants to use them. Sorry about that. I'm using my phone. I apologize. Yeah, the governor and on down through the district want to take your weapons because God knows you couldn't possibly be any better than a cop, and they're not good to begin with. So what I think is going to happen here is obviously we're going to wait for what the Ninth Circuit does, but that could take several months to a year. And unless, and I think this is California Rifle and Pistol Association and GOA, which is Gun Owners of America, are in this with Reno May. Reno May is a YouTuber extraordinaire out of the Napa area, Santa Rosa area. Actually, I think he's in Santa Rosa. But he's a really bright dude. He is very good about weapons and the law. He's very active, and I wish I had his ability or his time to do these things. I don't know what Rob. I almost said Rob Bonta. I'm sorry, Reno. I really am. So anyway, Reno May. If you, I'll put a link to his site down below, because honestly, if you're following me, you should follow him. And Copper Jacket, I think it's Copper Jacket TV. That guy's out of Reno, but out of Nevada, but he's been he lived in California for years. So he has a really good view of California politics, and he's very good about keeping up with what's still going on in California. He's still focused on what goes on in California because, well, he doesn't have much to focus on in Nevada, does he? So I think I've missed something or not given you much. But I will give you I will tie in SB2, and you can go look at it. I'll tie in a couple of articles that I find about it so you can do that as well. Right now, there's no place in California where you could carry where you wouldn't be eventually burned on something. I think in your car, if you're alone, maybe. But even then, you would probably drive through, it's very likely you would drive through a no-gun zone, like the streets along a park. No matter the size of the park, a park, period. Drive past a school, you could get burned for carrying your carrying your weapon. If you walk up and down the sidewalk in front of a school, absolutely. And they find out you're carrying a weapon, that's a felony. A felony, which removes all your rights until you're finished serving your sentence. And even then, they're still working on, we have 2 cases in the Supreme Court right now that are kind of on that level, but not quite there. At any rate, so we're good to go here. As far as California is concerned, we just can't carry. So I'm going to follow up on this. I'm going to try and follow this specific thing because I think this is super important. And I'll try to tie in with Reno May just to let him know that I'm also doing this and that I would really like to get the governor and Rob Bonta into a courthouse as defendants and see them defend their actions then. At any rate, so there you go. California's thoroughly screwed for the time being. I think I know it. I know what they're doing. Obviously, they're trying to the government. I know I'm running on, but the government, especially in California, has unlimited funds. They just do. They just take it out of the tax base and say, "Oh yeah, we got it from something else. We just moved it to general fund," which is where that's where they get their money. They leave it all in the general fund. Nobody follows it. Nobody can follow it. So, this is what I say. We sue them for, first off, breach of oath. Second off, trying to write laws that are anti-constitutional, that they know are anti-constitutional. And I know that they do because I have watched our illustrious governor say, "Oh, some kind of right So he knows. He's not stupid. He knows. He just thinks he's bulletproof. And we have to prove him wrong. We have to. We have to prove all of them are wrong. They all think they're bulletproof. Everybody thinks they're bulletproof. McCarthy thought he was bulletproof. Joe Biden thinks he's bulletproof. Trump thinks he's bulletproof. Well, actually, he might be. It's really hard to tell. He's like Teflon. We'll see. Governor Newsom, Rob Bonta, they all think they're bulletproof because we've allowed them to think they're bulletproof for how long? I don't even know how long. And they cannot be allowed to think that any longer because they think you can't do anything about it. And we've done many things about it, but we have to get these people out of office before they damage it more. Before they damage it more. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate y'all listening. This ran a little bit longer than I meant to. Remember, even fluffy bunnies have teeth and claws for a reason. Have a great day. Have a great new year. Work it hard. All right. See ya.